So, hello guys, welcome back to the Complete Python series. In this video, we are going to see about decision making in Python. Now, let us see what is decision making. In some situation, we need to take certain decisions, and depending on that decision, we need to execute the code. Decision making statements decides the output of a program. In Python, we can make decision making using two types of statements, that is if statements and if else statement. Now let us understand about if statements. If statements is the simplest decision making statement. It is used to decide whether a particular statement is true or not. If the condition holds true, the statement inside the if will be executed, else it will not be executed. Now you can see the flow chart of if else statement. Initially we calculate the test expression. If this test expression is true, then we execute a particular block of statements, and if the condition is false, then we don't execute this block of statement, and directly the control skips these statements and executes the further statements of the program. Now let us understand about if else statement. If we want to do something else when the condition inside if is false, in such cases we use if else statement. If the condition holds true, then the program will execute the code under the if statement. And if the condition is false, it will execute the code which is under the else part. Now let us see the flow chart of if else statement. In if else statement, we calculate a test expression. If this test expression is true, then we execute this block of statement, and if the expression is false, we execute other block of statement. These were the basic concepts of decision making in Python. Now let us understand if statement. So let us take a variable a and assign it to 10. Now let us use if statement, that is if, then in front of if we write the expression which we want to calculate. So I will write expression as a is exactly equal to 10. It means that if the value of a is exactly equal to 10, then the code under if statement will be executed. So after this condition, we need to write colon. Then inside this if statement, we can just print the value of a. Now let us run the code. You can see that we have got output as 10. This is because the value of a is 10 and this condition is satisfied. So the block of statements inside this if is executed. And one important point to remember is that in Python indentation is must. So all the statements which come under if should be one tab space from the initial point. If we don't follow indentation, Python will give us an error. This was all about if statement in Python. Now let us understand if else statement with an example. So here we are going to write a small code to find whether a number is even or odd. So let us take a variable and assign it to 5. Now we can use if statement and write the condition to check whether the number is even, as a mod 2 is exactly equal to 0. It means that the number is divisible by 2, and if this condition is satisfied, then we have to give output as even number. And if this condition fails, it means that it is an odd number, so we will print it as odd. So you can see that we have used if statement and written a particular condition to calculate. If this condition is true, then we will get the output as even, and if the condition fails, the else part will be executed. So let us run the code. You can see that we have got output as odd because 5 is an odd number. This was all about if-else statement in Python. We also have a concept of elif in Python. Elif statements are used to check a condition in else part. So to understand this, let us take an example of checking whether the number is positive number, negative number or 0. So let us take a variable num and assign it to 6. Then let us use if statement to check whether this number is exactly equal to 0. Then we can print number is 0. And if the number is not equal to 0, then we need to check two conditions, that is whether the number is positive or whether the number is negative. So we will use elif, that is in else statement it will check the if condition, and in front of this let us check whether the number is positive. So condition for that is num is greater than 0. If the value of num is greater than 0, then the number is positive. So let us print positive number. And if this statement fails, then the number is negative. So we can use else part and print it as a negative number. Now let us run the code. You can see that the output is positive number because 6 is positive. This was all about the decision making in Python. Thank you.